Culture is not just what we wear, what we eat, or what we sing. It is a living, breathing story of who we are. And in Jamaica, that story has never been told more powerful than through the Jubilee, a festival born from freedom, forged in resilience, and celebrated with a pride that echoes through generations. Welcome to the Golden Roost Jubilee Museum, a space where history does not sit behind a glass and gather dust, but rises up, dances, speaks, and demands to be felt. Here, every artifact, every costume, every drumbeat tells the truth of our people.
Our mission is bold and unapologetic: to preserve, protect, and to promote the Jubilee Festival as a living treasure, not just for Jamaica, but as for the Caribbean and the world. Because when one culture is lost, all of the humanity loses something irresponsible.
Today we present an evidence-based strategy grounded in regional realities, guided by international best practices and powered by the communities that have kept this culture alive. This is not just preservation, this is a blueprint for the future.
We are the Golden Roost Jubilee Museum, and we invite you to walk through our doors, meet our creators, and explore our collections, knowing that Jamaican culture is not fading, it is flourishing.
Step inside, the celebration starts now.
When we talk about preserving culture, the first question we have to ask is who is legally responsible for protecting it. For this section, I compared three systems: Jamaica, Cuba, and the ICIMCO 2003 Convention framework. In Jamaica, cultural governance is led by Ministry of Culture, supported by JCDC, the Jamaica National Heritage Trust, and the Institute of Jamaica. Together, they manage our festival, heritage sites, and cultural documentation. However, and this is crucial, Jamaica has no dedicated law specifically protecting living cultural practice like Jubilee. Our culture depends on institutional goodwill, not legal enforcement. Cuba is the complete opposite. Their Ministry of Culture, MINCUL, controls everything centrally. Culture is constitutional right in Cuba. The state is legally obligated to protect it. They even have the houses of culture in every single municipal constituency across the country. Impressive reach, but trade-off is that communities have very little say in how their own culture is managed. The ICIMCO 2003 Convention takes a completely different approach. It is legally recognized communities themselves as the primary considerations of their heritage, not the government, but the people. Member states are obligated to involve communities in every safeguarding decision. The biggest similarities across all three, they all agree culture needs structure to survive. The biggest difference, only ICIMCO gives communities the legal power to lead that protection themselves. And that is exactly the model our preservation strategy is built.
Jamaica, Cuba, and UNESCO 2003 Convention all recognize the importance of protecting cultural heritage especially intangible heritage such as music, dance, traditions, and oral history. In Jamaica, cultural management is supported through institutions like the Institute of Jamaica and Ministry of Culture, with strong community involvement through festivals and cultural programs. Jamaica approach is mainly grassroots, where communities play a major role in preserving and promoting heritage. Cuba, on the other hand, use more centralized system led by Ministry of Culture. Cultural activities and community participations are often guided by government institutions with strong focus on education and national identity. The UNESCO 2003 Convention provides an international framework encouraging countries to safeguard intangible cultural heritage through cooperation and shared responsibility. It emphasizes that communities are the main barriers of heritage and should lead in identifying and preserving it, while government provides support.
The comparison of Jamaica, Cuba, and the UNESCO 2003 Convention framework highlights clear differences in how cultural sectors are funded and implemented. Jamaica relies on project-based funding through bodies like the Jamaica Cultural Development Commission, leading to instability but strong grassroots involvement. Cuba, though the Ministry of Culture provides stable nationwide implementations, though with limited community autonomy. UNESCO promotes sustainable funding tied to national planning and emphasizes community participation. Overall, Jamaica shows strong local engagement but weak coordination. Cuba offers strong, structured, but less freedom, and UNESCO presents the most balanced approach.
The preservation strategy. The preservation strategy for Jamaica's Festival of Our Ancestors aims to protect African diverse traditions by prompting cultural community education, community involvement, sustainable tourism, and documentation. Key stakeholders include government agencies, local communities, schools, cultural organizations, and tourism bodies. The festival is perceived because it strengthens our cultural identity, honors history, fosters unity, and support economic growth while safeguarding intangible heritage for future generations.
Hello everyone. The Jamaica Festival, especially the Jubilee celebrations, can only grow through teamwork. Protecting our Jubilee Festival demands collaboration, starting in schools and communities with JCDC-guided parish competitions in music, drama, and art. Elders and artists lead workshops and folk songs and costumes, while social media live streams draw you through Instagram and YouTube. Businesses sponsor quality and motivation. For sustainability, blend ministry funding with business partnerships and community drives. Integrate art into schools and build cultural hubs for year-round training. Measure success through JCDC, growing rural participation, repeat involvement in traditions like drumming, rising online engagement, judge feedback on quality, and strong partnerships. Tackle risk youth, disinterest with modern twists, funding gaps via diversification, cultural dilution by involving elders' access with issues with subsidized poor planning through better coordination. Together, we keep Jamaica culture thriving.
Cultural management and preservation matter because without them, communities lose the very foundation of their identity. The Jubilee Festival is not just an event, it is a living record of resistance and emancipation. If we do not liberate the protected through governance, learning and community involvement, globalization will erase it quietly and permanently. This assignment changed how I see cultural preservation entirely. Before, I thought it was simply about keeping traditions alive. Now I understand it is about power, who has the legal authority to protect culture, who controls the funding, and most importantly, who gets a seat at the table. What stood out most to me is that no single actor can do this alone. Jamaica institution UNGOX, like the African Caribbean Institute and international bodies like the USINCO, each bring something the others cannot. When governments, communities, and organizations work in genuine partnership, not to silos, preservation becomes sustainable. As a future social studies teacher, I'm making this personally. I will bring the Jubilee into my classroom as a living curriculum, inviting community elders, having students document local traditions in their own parishes, making culture something we celebrate and not just study. Preservation starts in the classroom, and I intend to make it count.
Cultural management and preservation are crucial because they safeguard the unique identity, history, and traditions that define communities and nations. Without deliberate efforts to protect culture, invaluable heritage risks being lost to globalization and modernization. I've learned that effective cultural preservation requires a dynamic partnership. Governments provide policies and resources, NGOs offer specialized support and advocacy, and community brings authentic and knowledge and passion. This collaborative synergy ensures culture is not only preserved but also strives in a meaningful way. As a social studies teacher, I will implement community-based storytelling projects that encourage students with a local elder and cultural practitioners. This hands-on approach will empower students to actively document and celebrate Jamaican's culture, fostering a personal connection that help preserve heritage.
Historic preservation helps people to understand and appreciate cultural heritage by connecting them to the past, strengthening community identity, and ensuring that future generations can learn from historic sites while supporting education through hands-on experiences with history and architecture. Governments and NGOs work together to support culture by combining policies, resources, and grassroots engagement, while communities contribute local knowledge and participation. As a social studies teacher, this learning can be reinforced through project-based learning that encourages students to research and document Jamaican traditions, helping to preserve and pass on cultural knowledge to future generations.
Strategy. My reflection on preservation strategy highlights the importance of cultural management and preservation in maintaining Jamaica's identity and ensuring that traditions are passed on to future generations. It emphasizes that effective preservation requires collaboration among governments and communities, with each group playing a vital role in supporting and sustaining cultural practices. The reflection also shows that preservation is a shared responsibility that depends on active participation and strong partnerships. As a future social studies teacher, I underscores the need to promote Jamaican culture in the classroom through interactive and engaging activities that encourage students to appreciate, value, and continue their cultural heritage.
Cultural management keep our traditions, values, and practices alive, like Jamaica's Jubilee, celebrations with music, dance, and storytelling. Without it, global influences can erase our heritage, weakening national pride and identity for youth. Protection thrives on teamwork, government through the Ministry of Cultural and JCDC funds, events, and structure. NGOs provide training and advocacy. Communities share through families, schools, and groups, making culture vibrant. As your social studies teacher, I'll embedded Jamaican folk stories, songs, history, festivals in lessons. We'll host heritage days, storytelling, and school events to build pride and connection. Together, we preserve our roots. Appreciate you, Mr. Darling, for guiding us and showing us proper ways to effectively teach social studies to our students as future educators.
Your dedication, patience, and knowledge have helped us to better understand how to plan meaningful lessons, engage learners, and build strong cultural awareness in the classroom.
You have inspired us to become confident and responsible teachers who will make positive impact in society.
As Marcus Garvey stated, a people without knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a shield roast.
Behind the scene.
Hello, everyone. The Jamaica.
Preservation strategy highlights the importance of
JCDC, the Jamaican National Health